Hello, my lovely Sagittarians. So glad that you can join me today at Purple Table Tarot. Ooh. Not quite ready yet. So this is the monthly reading, a general reading for the month of May for Sagittarians. And if this reading resonates, claim it completely. Or if it doesn't quite resonate, go on ahead and watch your sun, moon, and rising. You could also watch your north node for life's purpose. Although, I don't know if I'll be giving you your life's purpose. But either way, it's all in good fun, and we see what the cards have to say to Sagittarians tonight. For Beltane, this is really exciting. Nice fiery, I was feeling the fiery signs tonight. So what messages do we have for Sagittarius? Sagittarius, what messages do we have for our Sages? And this deck is called the Star Tarot, and it is like one of the most beautiful decks I've ever seen. It's so pretty. So much rainbow. So much rainbow in it. Just like beautiful geometric imagery and people with beautiful cloaks and flying horses. All kinds of gold chalices and nature. All right. Okay, Sagittarius. What messages do we have for our Sagittarians tonight? I think I'll keep this fun one. It'll crown the reading. It says Ten of Swords, so we'll see. We'll see if that plays in somehow, or if it was just a little silly little jumper. Okay. Okay. So we have the Prince of Swords here, and then the Judgment card, the Hierophant, the Six of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So the Prince of Swords, this energy is very forthright and charging towards, like, basically making their ideas come to fruition, and really charging for what they want and charging for what they know, like charging towards the truth. They're truth seekers. And I believe that the Prince is the Knight in this deck. Either way, is a very, it's a youthful energy as I see it. And it's cutting through the clouds, it's clearing away the fog. And there is a metamorphosis here, because there are 3 butterflies on this prince's cloak. And you know, there's looks what appears to be like a medicine wheel and stars all along the red cloak. And so they're cutting through the clouds and just seeking the truth and living in the truth. That's what it appears like to me, which is good medicine to have, because the next card is the Judgment card. And typically, Judgment is inviting you to do some self-reflection and see, and just some really grounded assessment of a situation or of your own influence, because you know, we co-create our reality with everybody around us and our environment. So really looking at and being honest with yourself about how you are living your life right now. And whenever you get the Judgment card, it's kind of like a wake-up call. Like, is there something that you need to be paying more attention to? You know, in this card, which I think is so magnificent, it's basically like this person in the middle looks like they're kind of coming out of an egg, but like on a tornado of some kind, and there's a rainbow leading up to this, like in like semi, like, well, like some transparent silhouette of a bear, and then upwards to an eagle. Now, eagle is signifies like an all-seeing energy. It's a very, very powerful energy, just like really circumspect and able to really pan the camera back and get a good bird's eye view of all the things. So that eagle energy would be inviting you to evaluate and to really take a good look at yourself on a conscious level. The bear is inviting you to do the same, but on an unconscious level, because bears are the animals of the subconscious, and are also inviting you to look at your dreams. They're like the dreamy animals. So, you know, bears hibernate. And so there's a lot of opportunity to dream and a lot of opportunity to reflect upon those dreams. So you're being asked to pay strong attention to your waking life and your dreaming life. And this really does go in alignment with the Prince of Swords as well, because, you know, as a truth seeker, you're wanting to have that accurate and highest judgment. And then next is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, as you know, probably, it signifies like, rule, like kind of rule of law and theory and teachings. Like, you know, you see this Hierophant here pointing to the heart that is at the top of this labyrinth, and all these pieces, all the elements are connected, and up above his crown chakra is like this spout of like stars. You know, there's a lot of star imagery. There's stars, little stars all over this cloak, this red cloak, and then stars coming out of this kind of like funnel energy above this Hierophant's crown. So I believe that this card is inviting you to get in touch with your core values and just your inner knowing, and paying attention to what kind of doctrine like really serves you in the previous medicine here. So like, what kind of doctrine do you hold dear at your core that's going to help you get to the truth and be in alignment and live in alignment with the truth, your true nature, and help you on your way and in your work of making accurate and sound, compassionate self-assessment and even assessment of other things all around you. How, like I said earlier, like interacting with others in your life and your environment. The Six of Wands. Six of Wands is like the recognition card. It's kind of like the famous card. Like you're getting accolades, you're getting kudos for things, whatever that may be. Perhaps the kudos that you're receiving are coming out of this whole experience of finding the truth and living in alignment with your core values and your own personal doctrine. So there's some, and here's some more star imagery. Like this person is riding a Pegasus and has all the stars on their cloak and on the little hooves, and there's sunflowers at the ends of the wands, and then there's a star, and they're touching the star. It's kind of like they wished upon a star, and their wish came true, and now they're receiving all the kudos that go along with that. It's a very vibrant, very celebratory energy. Very celebratory energy. So then after the Six of Wands, we have the Six of Pentacles. And this is a really, I really am coming to love the Six of Pentacles so much more, because it really does speak to the generosity of your spirit, and also speaking to the balanced frugality, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like, it's not like being selfish, it's just choosing to invest wisely and also not giving everything away. So I really just feel like this is such a well-balanced card. It's like such a well-balanced meaning, because there is a giving over of things that you are able to share, and then a keeping for oneself, because you also have needs, and you're no good to anybody else if you're depleted. So this is a really lovely card. Lovely energy. This would speak to some values of generosity and honesty, and recognizing one's own gifts, and really just being honest about that and not having any shame in your game, basically. It's totally good to give yourself kudos and to pat yourself on the back. It would appear that's tied to the core values here, because there's the Hierophant. Okay, so here we have the Empress. The Empress is like this amazing energy that is like basically a culmination of all the queens. That's what the Empress is. Like, she has all of the elements inside of her, and she is discerning and stable and loving and kind and nurturing and creative and driven. And she's just like the ultimate queen, the Empress. And she's often pictured in the tarot as being pregnant. And so there you have it. Highly creative and really just like nurturing and like life-giving and transformative, and really living in alignment with one's truth. and living that every day and showing that and sharing that and creating the life that you want. So then there's the Star, which is Aquarian energy. You have a lot of major arcana right here. You have a lot of major arcana right here. All kind of clustered in this spot right here. That's a trip. Might have to pull some clarifiers. I didn't do clarifiers for the last two readings, but... Okay, so the Empress then leads to the Star. So the Star is like you wished upon a star, you know. It's very simple, but that's what it is. And it's a hope. It's a hope card, you know. And it's not just like, you know, hope isn't necessarily like envy or longing. It's more of just like a trusting, instead of longing for the thing that you want, hope is trusting that you will get the thing that you want in whatever form it arrives, right? And it's a very, hope is something that is not rigidly attached to any one particular thing. It's just an inner trust that things will work out for the very best that they need to, and that, you know, your ship will come in, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, say for instance, if somebody is hoping, has a lot of hope that they are fertile, has a lot of hope that they will have a child, you know, or give birth to some great, wonderful endeavor, like an artistic project of some kind, like, or even like writing a book, like just giving birth to something that has been inside of you for so long. And then we have the World, which is actually the end of a karmic cycle. And this card is so beautiful. The World is really amazing. It's the end of a karmic cycle, but also the beginning of a new one. Truth and judgment and values, fame and fairness, creativity, hope, and there's just some sort of journey. There's some sort of big inner journey happening. With Sagittarius, I'm definitely going to have to pull some clarifiers because it's all like a lot of major arcana. But we have the Eight of Pentacles here, so you are working on yourself and you are evolving. You are evolving because you're like on a progression. You have the Judgment and then the World. Anyways, I'll just continue. So the Eight of Pentacles is a card of mastery. You are basically working hard. You already know how to till the land, basically, and how to do the things that you need to do in order excuse me, in order to accomplish your goals. The Eight of Pentacles is mastery, like you know what you're doing and you know how you're getting there. And it's connected with your generosity, and it's also connected with your recognition. So you're definitely, you know, a master of generosity, and you're being recognized as such. But you're not doing it entirely alone. I mean, you're working, but You are definitely, you are a collaborator. You can collaborate and you could learn from other people and you enjoy that. Because collaborating with other people gives birth to new ideas. So we have the Three of Pentacles here. So you are definitely in the realm of like learning and teaching. It goes both ways. But I really love the creative imagery here, how there's 3 eggs in the nest and how that is connected to the Empress card. And it's also connected to the Hope card. So there is something that you're giving birth to here. There's something that you're incubating, and it's something that you're working with others on, and that you're going to be giving birth to soon. And you have the Five of Wands, and so, you know, along the way, even in a collaboration, there can be, and this is actually a positive thing, and there this same kind of topic, the same kind of energy came up in a previous reading tonight. Excuse me. Oh my god, I just like totally burped on camera. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Even in collaboration, like the more that you are able to hang in there with one another and like have conflict and share ideas, and you know, it's not always, oh, this idea is the one best idea or this idea is the one best idea. It's like everybody's sharing with each other and also questioning the methods and, you know, basically going through a true collaboration. Like there can be struggles along the way. So like the Five of Wands is kind of funny like that. It's not a very long-standing conflict. It's more like a kind of a short, fiery conflict. But you know, a lot of times this signifies like a group conflict, and there can be a group that they all have different ideas about how things need to be done. And yeah, you know, and then there are some folks who might just be like, you know, this also signifies like the different roles that people take in a group. And a lot of times in times of conflict, those roles can become more pronounced. So for instance, if you have someone who's a little bit more on the passive side and just like doesn't like conflict at all, like when it's time for a group conflict to be happening, they might be kind of like silent and hanging back and just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. And you know, maybe they'll go with like the strongest voice in the room, I don't know, or the loudest voice in the room. Then there are those who can be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more like really fiery, wanting to push their point through. You know, and then there can be some folks that are just kind of like out to lunch. Like they might not really know what they're bringing. They might have a little bit of confusion. So it's just funny how people can come together in different ways when it comes to groups, and how through collaboration there can be some conflict, but it's okay because that's when we really grow. And as long as it's not super hostile and toxic, then it's great because we're all just growing and we're all just, you know, it's not like everyone can get along all the time, because ultimately we're all leading towards a shared truth, right? We're all leading towards working towards a shared goal, working towards a shared truth, a shared idea. This is the Ace of Swords, and that's what that signifies. There's a lot of cutting through the BS when it comes to the Ace of Swords. And ultimately, the feeling that I'm getting from this is that this is a shared vision. Like ultimately everybody wants the best outcome. You know, despite the fight. I mean, truth be told, if people didn't want the best outcome for the group, then nobody would be fighting. Because people are going to bring their energy and their passion to something that they really believe in. And sometimes that can clash a little bit, but ultimately it's really good. There's a lot of growth. It's a lot of fodder for growth in that whole experience. So there's a giving birth to a new idea. You know, and I'm seeing here the Hierophant is on top of the Five of Wands. So, you know, I would imagine that what is also informing the different perspectives is really rooted in like people's own personal doctrine, you know, that is going to inform how they approach a very like a desirable goal or like a desired project. And it would make sense that people would be conflicting on that. And just like I said, you know, there's growth out of conflict. Like she is holding an armful of lilies in front of a fiery volcano. You know, passions are erupting, but yet she stays centered. She's holding on to herself even in the face of all these passionate viewpoints and you know, flying sparks, as they say. And there's a lot of stars in this too. So it would appear that just like the overarching star imagery is just really speaking to like maybe you're dealing with an Aquarius, or there's just a lot of hope in the situation. Like almost every card is sprinkled with stars. But it is called the Star Tarot, so hey. Okay. So you got the Eight of Pentacles, but now you have the Eight of Wands. So things are moving pretty quickly right now. Yes, as they would, because, oh my gosh, it's the Chariot. Got some Cancer energy. Things are moving quickly and they can't be stopped. This is such a cool combo. Whatever is happening quickly and is on track. Is really on track. Like you are going for it. You are going for it. I just love the Chariot, because the Chariot, it's like it can't be stopped, you know? It's like once the goal is set in motion, like it's just gonna stay in motion until it's accomplished. Like on a more literal sense, you could be traveling somewhere. That's kind of like one of the more concrete, just like if you're looking at it in a more concrete way, you could even be buying a car soon, which I think has always sounded a little bit cheesy, but that could be true for some folks, you know. But ultimately, this is travel. It's forward motion. Forward motion. So you could be going somewhere, or you could be just really determined and making things happen. Excuse me. And I see this also as an integration of like your like just an integration of your light and darkness, or like masculine, feminine. Like there's an integration in how you are moving forward, symbolized by the two horses. But you are always the driver of this Chariot. So you are master and commander of your own ship right now. Like you are making it happen. And so you're divinely guided, which is wonderful. And it's speeding up. It's quite accelerated. So the Five of Pentacles. Now, you know, so let's look at this whole thing here. So maybe there's a part of you that's going it alone. You know, maybe you're your values, your inner core values are leading you to pilot this chariot alone. And given that self-determination, perhaps you're feeling ousted. Or, I mean, I get the sense that if you've left and you're going it alone, that you chose to do that. Because there it is, like you and the lone wolf, right? But there is a sense of, the Five of Pentacles is like the poverty card, and feeling left out, feeling like you don't have as much, like feeling impoverished. And typically whatever is surrounding the Five of Pentacles is kind of what I would imagine is influencing the feelings surrounding the impoverished feeling. Like maybe you're being invited to pilot this chariot. You are being invited to really get on your bike and ride and go fast, but maybe there's a part of you that doesn't feel like you have all what it takes in order to get gone, in order to get on down the road. This is an interesting reading. There's so much stuff here, but I'm just kind of like, let's recap. So there's like a drive towards truth. There's a self-evaluation, getting clear about the values and the doctrine. You could also be getting really clear about the rigidities and the structure that you were raised with. That, I think, is probably playing into the judgment. Like you're just like taking those things into consideration. And then there's like this fame card of either getting kudos or wanting kudos for being generous. And then also having this creative energy and a hopeful energy. So there's a part of you that you want to create something really big. You really want to create something, and it looks like you've been doing a lot of soul searching around what that is. And I'm thinking that given that you've been taking into account your personal truth and your personal doctrine, whether it's like, coming from a flexible place or a rigid place, like it's something about like, I get the sense that, you have your foundation of your values, and you're not going to that's a part of the judgment piece, is that you're basically, in order to live in alignment with your truth, you're needing to really be specific about what it is that you're going to take with you from your early teachings. And that goes into the self-evaluation. And it looks like it would appear that there's a part of you that really wants recognition for that, or is getting recognition from that, because a part of your value system is being generous, but also being measured in what you do invest yourself in, because you have a really huge hope and goal around what you want to create. What you want to create is directly in alignment with who you are at your core. So whatever it is that you want to bring at your core is basically what you want to create. Like there is no daylight between those things. Like you want whatever you create to be a reflection of yourself and a reflection of your highest values. And you have a lot of hope that that is going to happen. And there's also a lot of trust that that's going to happen. But there's also a part of you that has like one foot in, one foot out. Like you really want to do this, but you might not know how yet. And so then there's like a kind of an ending of a karmic cycle of, and I think maybe that karmic cycle could just be the end of acknowledging, like the end of all this evaluation. Okay, it could be the ending of all the evaluation and the culmination of having finally decided what it is that you want to create and want to put out there into the world. And that now that part's ended, the part that's beginning is now to put your plan into action. Because you've been doing a lot of self-reflecting for a long time. And so now it's time to call in your actual practical skills of mastery and what you know how to do on a very practical level to see this come to be, to bring it into being. And you're discovering that you need to collaborate, you need to do it with other people. But given that you are such a fiery energy and this is such a project, like that's such a representation of you and yourself and your heart and your spirit, that like you don't want to sacrifice that to anybody else's vision. Like you don't want anybody else taking the ball and running with it, because this is your baby. This is your project. And so then there's some conflict around that. And granted, this is an opportunity to where you could learn and you can move forward, but I'm getting the sense that you don't want to do that. You're coming to discover that you're going to be going this alone, because that's your truth. The truth is that this is so connected to you and your inner core self and your heart and soul that this is your baby, like I said. So that's your truth. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to pilot my own chariot and I'm going to go, and it's going to move fast. Like I've made the decision, like I'm going to do this project, but I'm doing it by myself because I really want it to be, I don't want anybody else's vision tainting my vision of what it needs to be, because this is so much about what is at my core. So with that sturdiness and clearness of vision, it's like you've made your move and now your chariot is on the track and you're going, and now you're maybe beginning to feel regret about that, or maybe you're beginning to feel a little scared that you don't have enough of what it'll take to get this off the ground. You know, when we actually, now that I see, we did pull that the Ten of Swords was a jumper. So maybe the Ten of Swords is signifying the end of this collaboration. It could be the end of the period that you needed to take to finally get to the place where you can actually put your plans into action. I'm going to pull some clarifiers for this. What is it? What's the vision? Okay. I'm wondering where I should, like, it's not necessarily what the vision is, I guess. I mean, you would know what the vision is. This is all connected to inside of you, if that's what's going on with you. I mean, like I said before, like this is a general reading for all Sagittarians, so it won't apply to everybody, but it's applying to somebody. And that's the energy that I've been getting tonight in all three fire signs. There's a collaboration, there is a goal, and then there's a collaboration. And either the collaboration is like going to work out or not. But I got the Sun and the Eight of Pentacles on the split. So I'm thinking that given your choice to really use your skills of mastery to make this happen is it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like, I honestly think that this is just self-doubt. Like, I think this is just like a shadowy, I don't think it's really the outcome for you. So what is the outcome here? What's the outcome here? I don't know if I want to leave it as like, and you're doing it, but then you feel insecure. Right. You know, like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't, I want to leave you with that. Like, let's see. All right. What else can you tell Sagittarius? What else can we tell Sagittarius tonight, Spirit? What else can we tell Sagittarius about this amazing, 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 wonderful internal gift that they are just waiting to spring onto the world? And when they share it, it's going to be big. You might even get famous. Who knows? All right. So we got the Knight of Rods. So yeah, you're feeling a little insecure, but man, you're the Knight of Rods, so you're going for it. You're going for it. And you got the Moon, so as you're going for it, you are going to be facing your fears and some dark nights of the soul. But the Moon is also a card of illusion, so don't get wrapped up in any kind of like self-defeating kind of like, you know, illusory thoughts. Like, you really want to work with, you know, you got a lot of passion. This is a passion project for you, but you really want to ground yourself in some practicalities. I think that it would be important for you to really focus on and bring out your Eight of Pentacles medicine, because those are your skills of mastery. More Five of Wands. More Five of Wands. And then another Ace of Swords. So there is a battle here for what the truth is. There is a battle about what the truth is. And then the Seven of Pentacles. So, you know, maybe you might go back and kind of go back to the drawing board and reevaluate and reassess. Like, maybe you will come to find that you can't go it alone. I mean, even if it's a passion project that is all yours and is like so tied to your identity, like, there is a part in our lives where we kind of have to get over ourselves. And so there's the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is still fighting in the face of the burning tower, you know? So there's some conflict about what this is and how it's gonna go. But there's some serious stubborn energy happening here, Sagittarius. I mean, you definitely have the faith and the belief and the self-assuredness of the situation, but you kind of go back and forth with that. You go back and forth with wanting to go it alone and wanting to collaborate. Let's see what's on the Empress. The Empress. I went to pull a clarifier for the Empress, and it was the Empress. All right. Tarot be like, I said what I said. Yeah. So culmination of all the queens. I mean, you need to call on a balanced energy. I think the medicine and the suggestion is to call on a fair and balanced approach. So here's the advice. Like, yes, this is a passion project that's close to your heart and that's coming out from inside of you out to share the world. But I mean, is this too much of a goal? Like, is this, you know, wanting to get recognition and wanting to get kudos for it and all of these things? Like, you know, is there a level of narcissism here that is actually going to be a hindrance rather than a help? So I think clarifying for the Empress and pulling another Empress is you're being invited to not be so rigid. Like, you're being invited to embody the medicine of all the queens of the tarot. And all the queens of the tarot, in my opinion, are like the most balanced approach to their element. Whereas the kings of the elements are very, very close. They kind of ride that fine edge of tipping over to the rigid side of what the suit could be. Because here we do have the Knight of Swords and we have the Knight of Rods. So we got two knights here. Granted, they're not kings, but knights are fire. So here's fire of air and fire of fire. So, you know, maybe there's one person in particular that you keep battling. There are 0 cups in this reading. There's a lot of fire and a lot of air. And we pulled, there's 2 aces of swords and 2 5 of wands. So I think I'm going to pull an oracle card for you for some advice, because it just would appear to me that, and you'll know what this means for you. You will know what this means for you. You know, there's a passion project and there's some conflict about how to get that done. But whatever it is, the advice outside of the oracle card that I'll pull for you is you want to take the queen's approach. All 4 queens. You want to be discerning. You want to be stable and nurturing. You want to use your highest intuition. You want to trust your head and your heart and your gut on all of these things. And you really want to have flexibility. You know, granted, there's the Queen of Swords there, but you know, just a high level of discernment and clear of mind. So clarity in your thinking, purity of your feelings, real compassion and thoughtfulness and empathy for the whole situation. And you know, you want to be fierce too. You got to have your ferocity and your stability. So I will pull an oracle card for you. My guess is that you know exactly what this means. you know what this means. I have no idea what this is about. But whatever it is a passion project for you. There is conflict about how to get that done. The vision. I mean, with the Hierophant can also talk about like institutions. So like it can talk about the institution of a marriage. And if this was about a marriage of some kind, you know, maybe this is more like a business partnership, or maybe this is a divorced couple trying to co-parent. I don't think that's the case. I mean, there's virtually no cups in this reading, which is so weird. I don't know if I've had many readings that didn't have any cups. So anyways, it's all good though. It's still a good reading because it's a lot of strong, powerful energy. You have 5 major arcana all right next to each other. Judgment, Hierophant, 2 Empresses on the ground, the Star, and the World. That is some heavy, this is some intense energy. All right, so Legacy of Light. Legacy of Light. Maybe this is a part of what your passion project is. Like, this isn't just a part, like, this is going to be your legacy. Like, this is big for you. This is really big. This is really, really big. Legacy of Light. Legacy of Light. Okay, Sag. You're being asked to honor the legacy of light that is your sacred birthright. Take nourishment and support from those that have come before you. Your ancestral lines, not only in blood, but also in spirit. Perhaps these are the beings that have inspired and motivated you to live as a sacred rebel. Excuse me, from your heart and with belief in yourself. The more you are nourished by this legacy of light from your past, the more you become a bearer of the legacy for those that will be supported by your light in the future. This is a sacred endowment from the great universal source of light to humanity. It is the light of wisdom, creativity, radical courage, love, and respect that is passed down from the heart of each generation to the next. The legacy of light is your spiritual birthright to refine and shine your essence into the world, to be like a sun, radiant and unapologetic of your nature. That's what I feel is coming from there. The oracle of legacy of light comes to you when you need confirmation that a creative choice you are making or have made or soon will make is one that is in alignment with your sacred purpose and spiritual path of healing and growth. That's what we've been talking about. Like this is you, like you personified, like you, oh my, wow. The legacy of light cannot be ignored without some detriment to your sense of well-being. If you were asking about a particular question and drew this card, then part of the answer to your question is that the issue at hand is one of utmost importance to your spiritual growth. No wonder you're fighting for this so intensely, because this is so linked to your identity and your soul. Even if it seemed like a relatively insignificant question, the energy around this matter is relevant to your sacred birthright to shine. Your sacred birthright to shine. Your sacred birthright to be famous. Okay. Perhaps you need to trust more, to know that all is well, no matter what appears to be, and to ask for help, and to believe that you deserve to receive it. The legacy of light also asks you to call on the unconditionally loving support that exists for you every day. This light will offer you all manner of assistance. To not call upon it is like starving because you believe you have no means to acquire food, whilst a feast lay before your eyes. If only you could partake of it. Perhaps you worry that you are asking too much. Perhaps you worry that you are asking too much of those who wish to assist you. However, this is a mistaken belief. Those beings of unconditional love who assist us spiritually each day need to shine just as we do. When they are embraced for their purpose, to assist with the spiritual growth of humanity through unconditional love, they too become a part of the legacy of light, shining bright with love and helping to illuminate the world. Although you may doubt your goodness at times, and being human does mean there will be some very dark moments on your path, this oracle affirms that you are coming from love with the pure intention to simply live your life and do your best in the circumstances in which you find yourself. You are being asked to avail yourself of the help that is awaiting your request so that your own light can become a part of the greater shining legacy of divine brilliance made manifest upon the earth. This oracle is also guiding you to something in your family history or spiritual ancestry that is relevant to you now. Your spiritual ancestry can be recognized through the traditions and cultures you are intrigued by and interested in. They do not have to be the same as the spiritual traditions that you were raised with in this lifetime, although they may be. That's the Hierophant right there. The influence of your family history and or spiritual tradition may be encouraging and constructive, but it may also be holding you back. Sometimes we unintentionally absorb the hidden fears of our parents or our religious upbringing, such as the belief that dreams cannot manifest or that we have to compromise to the point of losing what makes us feel truly alive. If you can relate to this or want healing just in case it is happening beyond the level of your conscious awareness, simply complete the healing process below. If you are involved in a group project, this oracle is asking you to stay true to the heart of why you began working together in the first place and to seek assistance, protection, and guidance from a source that loves all of you unconditionally. You can do this through the healing process below. Finally, if you need a jolt to recognize that you are a creative being entitled to explore your ingenuity, perhaps through taking a class or pursuing your own artistic interests at home, then this oracle brings the particular guidance that yes, this is a part of your life path, and you are encouraged to take it further. You are also acknowledged through this oracle as having some special creative and healing offering to make to the world in this lifetime. You will leave a legacy of light for the greater good upon this planet, and you will be lovingly supported in many ways by the great creative universal intelligence when you ask for help. If you don't know how to do that, just complete the healing process below. So another aspect of the Five of Pentacles is that this person doesn't have to be out in the cold. Usually it's like two people, but in this case it's a person and the wolf. But they don't need to be out in the cold because typically they're going past a church and there's like warm glow on the inside of the church, and they could like go inside the church if they wanted to or knock on the door. Like, so that I really feel resonates. Like if you're feeling left out in the cold, like you don't need to go it alone. If you don't want to, you can ask for what you need. Okay, here's the healing process. Say aloud, through unconditional love, I am open to receiving the support, guidance, protection, and assistance that I need to manifest the legacy of light that shines through me now. I release any conscious or unconscious attachment to beliefs or relationship patterns that hold me back from fully shining my light in the world. I ask that my creative journey be aligned with my spiritual path and blessed for the greatest good. So be it. Place your hands in prayer at your heart and close your eyes. Bow your head to your hands and imagine, sense, or perceive that a beautiful golden light pours down from the center of the universe into the top of your head, It then flows slowly down through your head and into your heart, all the way down through your body and out through the soles of your feet. When you are ready, simply open your eyes and you have completed your healing process. I thank you very much for joining me this evening, Sagittarius. I am just really impressed by your passion and your drive and your congruence in bringing your spirit and your heart in alignment, and wanting to live fully in your truth is a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope that you tune in again, and please like, share, and subscribe. And if the reading resonated with you, claim it completely. But if it didn't, be sure to also look into your sun, moon, and rising and north node. Thank you so much. I will see you again real soon.